Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Thursday, the 25th of July, 2024. In today's Mill news, we start off mentioning and reminding that there is a game tomorrow, Mill versus Real Murcia, 9:30 a.m. UK time, British summertime. Although I don't know where the summer's gone because it's certainly not summertime in July this year. Mill face Real Murcia on Friday morning, kickoff 9:30 a.m. UK time, 10:30 local time if you're out there. As the Lions' Spanish training camp comes to a close, Neil Harris's team play their second and final game at the Pinazar Arena, following on from Tuesday night's match against Nottingham Forest. The match will conclude a week's work in Alicante before the team jet back to London. And remind, if you did not know, supporters set to travel for the game. Well, yeah, that's the tickets have gone off sale already. If you didn't get them, you missed out. You had to buy them 24 hours in advance, whilst fans around the world can stream the match live on Millwall TV for just £5.99. So there you go. Now, we've got some words of from the manager about the Spanish trip. So this is from southernnews.co.uk, who publish on a Thursday. So if you're in a newsagent or a petrol station or a garage, pick up a copy if you see it. That would make us really proud. Millwall boss gives verdict on return of Lions supporters to overseas pre-season games. And there again, there's a photo of the fans after the game yesterday. By John Kelly in Murcia. He got to go on the trip. I wonder if he travel with the was he embedded with the Millwall team. Neil Harris spoke glowingly about Millwall supporters after the Lions played their first pre-season game in front of fans on foreign soil in 20 years. Around 700 Lions supporters were at the Pinazar Arena in Murcia on Tuesday evening to see their side take on Nottingham Forest. They went through their full repertoire of chants from the moment the sides walked out, ending with a rendition of Super Neil, when Neil Harris led the players over to thank them for their support after a competitive 2-1 defeat against Nuno Espirito Santos' team. A large contingent of fans are staying in the neighbouring province of Alicante, where Mill's training camp is. There was a Benidorm Lions flag in one of the stands, with coaches from the Alicante seaside resort to San Pedro del Pinatar. Another popular spot is the Alicante seaside city, Torreviejo, 20 minutes away. Yeah, this football pitch is right on the border between the regions, as you would say, probably like similar to English counties of Alicante and Murcia, and it's just on the Murcia side. But all the big towns are on the and all the big tourist spots are on the Alicante coast. Fans have one more match to watch to enjoy in Spain, as the Lions end their training camp with a fixture against local third-tier side Real Murcia on Friday morning. It shows my age that when I played the last time that fans were at games abroad. Ultimately today it was a starting point for us, Harris told News at the Pinazar Arena on Tuesday night. It's been a long time since the fans have travelled. There have been some difficult moments, probably in the late 90s and turn of the century, where was it the right venue? Was it the right opponent to open it up to the fan base? Well, today was a pioneer for us as a football club and a fan base. And what a great feeling when we walked out to see the fans. Some obviously live here, some have travelled with the school holidays. There are a lot of children here. And what a great experience for us. How nice is it for them? But for us as a group too, to see them. Yeah, indeed. I think the club put out a little video on social media that they filmed with one of the Mill fans, a young lad, probably like 8 years old, kicking a ball with Neil Harris, and that was good to see. We play Gillingham in front of fans. We play free behind closed doors friendlies, and it's great when you come and see that togetherness. Tonight is not about the results. Tonight's about the match minutes and being able to share this experience with our fans. Tonight's gone brilliantly. I hope the rest of the night goes well. Hopefully the next 3 days go well, and the Real Murcia game goes to plan. And next year, we're saying the same thing in 2 years, 3 years. 4 years it becomes like the norm, like it does for Forest, like it does for Sunderland, that the fans travel with the team, and that will make us extremely proud to be in that situation. Indeed. So it seems it's all gone off very calmly and nicely. So we'll see how that works out in the future in terms of next season. Now, moving onto this, also from the southernnews.co.uk. I'm more interested in the players finding a solution. Mill boss looking forward to venturing into the unknown against Real Murcia. The Spanish side are set to provide a different challenge entirely to Nottingham Forest. I'd imagine that they would just keep the ball and not really move forward and probably just bore everyone to tears. Neil Harris said he wants his players to find solutions on the pitch as Mill prepared to face off against unknown quantity Real Murcia. The Spanish third-tier side will be a much different adversaries than the Lions' first pre-season opponents, Nottingham Forest, who won 2-1 on Tuesday night at the Pinatar Arena. Harris said the research into Murcia had not been in depth and it was instead about challenging his players to adapt to the unique test in tomorrow morning's game. Asked how much scouting had gone into the Spanish side, Harris said, not a great deal, to be honest. We don't do a lot of pre-season opponents, as we have far too much to focus on with our own group. Pre-season is about preparing ourselves. So the analysts might have a little look to see what clips they can find from them, if there's anything at all. With Forest, I played against Nuno and his teams a few times, and you roughly see what you're going to get, but they can change anything for any given day with the world-class players they've got. With Murcia, I'm more interested in the players finding a solution. We would have played against various different shapes by then, and we've set the team up, not really planning on what to expect from Murcia, apart from some basic principles, and we can help from the sidelines, but it's down to the players to find solutions at times, and that will be a good challenge for them. Indeed. I would say when you're looking at an opponent you don't really know, you probably go on their Wikipedia or their website and see if there's like one of their players that stands out as maybe like a kind of star, maybe an imported player, or one that's has been playing at a high level and has gone down. Other than that, no. I think they're in the third division, so they're that good, to be honest. Now moving on to this, also again from the Southern News. Like I said, they publish on the Thursdays. It's about Hutch. Obviously, wasn't involved the other day, so what's going on? Well, obviously, he hasn't been in pre-season, so he's not going to get any game time. He needs to get himself up to a fitness level, and then he can start to be involved. Maybe I'd imagine there's a game next week against Colchester on Tuesday. And then we've got the Southampton game. Obviously, Tanganga, you would expect to be first choice for the league games, but obviously he's suspended for the first 3 games, two league games and a cup game, so you would hope he's ready by then, and if he isn't, who's going in there? So I certainly hope it's not going to be Murray Wallace. So Neil Harris provides update on Hutch ahead of Real Murcia game, including why Millwall skipper was training on his own in Spain. So here we go. Shaun Hutchinson is a doubt for Mill's friendly against Real Murcia on Friday morning. The Lions re-signed the captain on a 1-year deal last week, and Hutchinson is with the squad at their training base in Alicante. Another summer signing, Japhet Tanganga, started as the right-sided centre-back against Nottingham Forest on Tuesday, with Murray Wallace coming on for the former Tottenham defender at half-time in a 2-1 defeat. Tanganga was first choice alongside Jake Cooper in the second half of last season after joining on loan from Spurs, but Hutchinson could get his chance early in the campaign with Tanganga suspended for the first 3 games. That's what I've just said. The Lions are back at the Pinatar Arena tomorrow to play the Spanish third-tier side. So they are a third-tier side. Friday might be slightly too soon. Hutch has been really unfortunate. He's come in late and he was sick on Monday, so we're hoping it's an isolated incident with Hutch. Harris told News It Then. He was back in the training pitch on Tuesday, but away from the group. But the one player that didn't need to be a day behind the group was Shaun Hutchinson. But ultimately, we're not signing him to be fit for a trip to Spain. We signed our club captain for 46 games, and when called upon to be reliable and as good as he's ever been as a centre half. If we have to forgo Hutch for a few days, then I can stomach that if we can keep him fit for as many games as possible this season. So there you go. What was he doing out in Spain? Did he have a bit of what do they call it? I don't know what they call it in Spain. The Deli Belly. What do they call it in Mexico? Montezuma's Revenge. When you drink the local water and then you start feeling a bit dicky. Yeah, that's not good. Now, moving on to this interview with the new goalkeeper. There he is in his Middlesbrough shirt. Nice and clean. So it looks like he hasn't dived that many times. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. Millwall new transfer window recruit delighted at switch, targets first team starting berth next. Liam Roberts has set his sights on the number one spot at Millwall after signing a 12-month deal on Monday. The 29-year-old left Middlesbrough at the end of last season and has been training with the Lions. Roberts joined Neil Harris's squad when they flew out to Spain on Sunday for their training camp in Alicante and then put pen to paper. The stopper has played 258 matches at first-team level, ranging from the Championship to National League. Roberts faces competition from Lucas Jensen, who has arrived for an undisclosed fee from Lincoln for the goalkeeping spot. The new recruit says he was challenged to come in and press by Harris and goalkeeping coach Andy Marshall during his trial spell. I feel like I've done that, Roberts told Millwall TV. That's not just the end. Sit on my laurels and say, this place is nice. I need to kick on and prove I need to be in the team week in and week out. I spoke to Duncan Watmore before coming in, and he said, "Oh, you'll love it. As soon as you step through the door, you'll get that feeling of family and that the lads are all in it together." And he wasn't wrong at all. I played quite a few games, and I've been around the game a very, very long time, and I can help the younger goalies with any problems they've got away from football, because I've been there myself. I can help whether I'm on the pitch or off it. Jensen is expected to start the campaign as first choice. You've got to put your personal pride to one side sometimes, said Roberts. Whoever's got the spot has got the spot, and you have to support and be right behind them, because you're expected exactly the same the other way around. If I'm in the team, brilliant. But if I'm not, then how can I support them to be on the best that they can be? And ultimately, if we win, then I win. And there's only one position for a goalkeeper. And if the goalie's doing well, then they must be doing something right in training and games to keep them going and keeping their consistency. Indeed, indeed, indeed. One thing I would say, I think that Jensen is one of those ball-playing goalkeepers, just from what I've seen of him against Gillingham. So if he does that a bit too many times and makes a few mistakes that cost goals, he might see himself out of the side if he keeps doing that. But we'll see. And I think Roberts isn't really that type of goalkeeper. I think he's probably a bit more old-school shot stopper. So it seems we have a variety of styles with our goalkeepers this season. Now, moving on to this. This is from millfc.co.uk. It is the fixtures for the under-21s. They've come out. This season, and obviously this is very roughly planned, because we know that they can change within 24 hours notice, or sometimes even less. But as it stands, we've got one game. Well, the opening game is set to be at home at the Den against Burnley. And that's on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. in probably, 3 weeks' time? So not that long to go. And then after that, there isn't really any games at the Den until 2025, which I understand why they're doing it. Obviously, this season, we've had two really good seasons with the under-21s. Last year, they won the South Division. They didn't get to the final of the national competition, but they did win their league. And the season before that, they did win a national competition. They were the best team at that level and what they're competing in, so they went all the way. A lot of those players have been released, and we have to start afresh now, and it's not easy. It's not easy. One thing you would say, if we've got players around that are in and around the benches, and that might help boost the quality of the team. But if you've been watching the videos, you saw the friendly the other day against Cray Wanderers. They were playing mostly trialists. They went all the way up to trialist J. So obviously they're still building the team right now. We have players that can still play for the under-21s. Like I said, Romain Esse, Andy Masia. I imagine that he'll be in the under-21s this season. and might make the odd appearance on the bench for the first team. Romain Esse, if he's still mostly on the bench for the first team to get match fitness, he'll play for this, so that will help them out. But yeah, so as we go down, you can see I think it's mostly the same. Apparently Fleetwood Town play on a farm, which is weird. I don't know if that's their training ground or what. Birmingham City are in our league. Again, have they moved grounds? I don't know. The QPR game is scheduled to be at Wealdstone's ground. That is a 7 p.m. kickoff, so that is a public game so far, as we know. The Charlton game is going to be at the Millwall training ground. Like I said, no games for Millwall other than that opening one. And here is a weird one. So Brentford under 21s. I thought Brentford decided not to do under 21 teams. I thought they decided, no, we're going to have a B team. We're not going to take part. So it looks like they joined in this year. They decided to join in. Is that why they're trying to nick our players? To build their under 21 team. They're just pinching players off the... Why? And again, if they're a Premier League team and they're so great and so fantastic, why are they playing in at this level? Or for the Professional Development League? Why aren't they playing in Premier 2? And are they? I don't know what's going on. I'm not Brentford's fan, so I don't know what's going on with them. Are they keeping the Brentford B team and an under 21 team? What are they doing? I'd imagine that idea that they would have their own team and just get random friendlies here and there, that's just weird. I didn't understand how that could work. Whereas now you've got a full season of actual games, some of them in front of actual fans in stadiums that matter because it's for a league and it's competitive. So there's some kind of jeopardy involved. So they've decided to return to the fold. Well, rather bizarrely, I don't know where Wheatsheaf Park is. I don't know if that's the training ground or a ground. But there you go. And then we go into December. Still most Wallace Binder. I think that's Malden and Tiptree FC's ground. So that's 7 p.m. kickoff there. So that's the one that you can go to. But like I said, these are all very much they can be changed at the last minute. The Cardiff game will be in front of a crowd as well, and so we have to wait until the 11th of March. Now I can understand again why they're doing this. Obviously the team's fresh, they're new, they have to gel. It's going to take a time for them to get up to speed, but also in terms of the weather, and you don't want to put games on at the Den that maybe have to be cancelled because of the weather. So have it at the training ground. So it looks like at the end of the season in March and April, that's when a lot of clubs have decided to put their games in grounds. We've got the game at the Cardiff Stadium, game at the Den against Watford, a game at Portman Road, another game at the Den, this one which is in the Chesterfield Stadium against Sheffield United, another game at the Den. That I believe is Wigan's training ground, and then the final game of the season is at the Den. So there you go. Now moving on, we're going to move on to this, which may not be everyone's cup of tea. So if you're not going to stick around, thank you for watching. But if you are, let's look at this. So this is from EFL.com, and as part of their rebranding exercise in terms of the Sky Sports Plus, they're trying to push the EFL divisions onto another level by putting a spotlight on the players and whatnot. And one way that you can do that is having your own specific fantasy football game. So they teased us all throughout the summer that they would be doing this, and over the last, I think 3 days ago, they published what they would be doing. And it's not a full team. Okay. So what? Okay, it doesn't show it there. But what you have to do, well, you'll find out what you have to do is we're going to go for it. So Fantasy EFL has arrived and is ready to play. You can get stuck straight in by heading over here, or downloading the app on Android or iOS. But we're sure you've got questions, so here are your essential need-to-know guides to playing the game. We're going to have a look at one of them in a minute. There's a video. Selecting players. So you don't pick 11 players. So to create your team, you select 7 players from across the Championship, League 1 and League 2. So yeah, it's, like I said, it's the whole EFL. You can have any number of players from each division, but no more than 2 from one club, and all 7 players are able to score you points each game week. Players are split into goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards, and can be played in any of these formations: 1-2-2-2, 1-2-3-1, or 1-3-2-1. You must also allocate a captain who will score double points. Each game week, you'll need to select 2 clubs who will score you points depending on their results. You're also selecting the result. Who do you think is going to win the game? And you have to pick 2 clubs, but you can only select your clubs from any of the divisions, but you can't select the same club more than 5 times a season. So be smart with your picks. Players score points for their teams with appearances, goals, assists, clean sheets, saves, and defensive actions. What are they? I don't know. And your selected clubs score points for wins, more for away wins, and scoring multiple goals. So there you go. Game weeks run Thursday to Wednesday every week. Any matches a player plays in during the game week will count towards that game week's score. Unlimited transfers can be made each week, and you can switch out players up until the moment their games kicks off. So if one of your picks hasn't made the matchday squad, there's still time to get in a replacement. So what that's going to mean is when we have games that get postponed, if you want to, I don't know if what the prize, are there prizes in this? If you want to win a prize, like, you just pick players that are playing 2 times in a week, and you'll get more points. Max Captain Chip. Fantasy EFL is introducing the Max Captain Chip, which can be used to allow your high scoring player in that particular game week to score double points. So as well as having a captain, you can say, okay, this is my max captain. He's going to have a really good week this week. Oh no, it's just it's just max captain, and whoever scores the most points for you, they'll double it. You get 1 of them from the first half of the season and 1 in the second half of the season, after the transfer window's been closed. Everyone is entered into the overall league, and there's also a mini league with fans of your club. And you can also create and join your own mini leagues. Prizes. There are top prizes for the top 5 finishes in the overall league, and a monthly prize for the best performing player each month. There's also a prize for the winner of each club league. So there you go. There's a few prizes involved. So let's have a little look through the game guidelines. There you go. We're just going to see some of this we've already mentioned. There are no restrictions on how many times you can select an individual player over the course of the season, but you can only select a maximum of 2 players from any one club each game week. You can only select an individual club a maximum of 5 times over the course of the season. You can add players to your team by pressing so that's more physical. Okay. You can change your captain an unlimited amount of times up until your current captain becomes locked. More on that. So if you wanted to win this, you'd have to read through the terms and conditions with the precision of a highly some kind of a autistic savant to know how to scam the system. Your team will roll over to the next game week automatically, meaning that you will always have a scoring team if you forget about it and don't make any changes, which isn't going to win you any prizes, because you need to be utterly obsessed to win any prizes, unless like you set up your own league. I think that Millwall podcast might be doing a league, and you have like a pool between yourselves. Assuming that your players are selected to play by their clubs, if upon your team rolling over it means that you will exceed the 5 selection cap on one of your clubs, then will we randomly auto-replace the club with another player. 5 selection cap. So You can pick 2 Millwall players, but you can only pick their player. You can only pick Millwall 5 times. Yeah, like I said, you need to read the rules to get what this is going on about. Max captainship. Okay. Updating your team. You can make as many changes as you want. Lockout. Now, in lockout, this is the thing. Fantasy EFL will implement a rolling lockout mechanic whereby players and clubs will become locked as soon as that club plays, as soon as their game kicks off in the current game week. Once lockout is active, then you will no longer be able to add or remove selections from that team. Once your captain vice captain becomes locked, then you will be no longer be able to change your captain vice captain. Lockout will automatically be lifted once all fixtures in the current game week have been concluded. Okay. So, what does that mean if you've selected a player who kicks off on Friday? Does the whole team lock or just that player locks? Once will become locked as soon as that club plays. Once lockout is active, you will no longer be able to add or remove selections from that team. So you can still change your other players, I assume. Once your captain vice captain becomes locked, then you will no longer be able to change your captain vice captain. So it seems like it's only going to be that player that gets locked. Here are the points. Scoring system. This is it. Players and clubs will be awarded points based on their actual performances during the 24-25 EFL season, with players scoring differently depending on their position outlined in the tables below. Appearance, up to 59 minutes played. Now, you've got to remember that, because you think, well, a lot of subs have been made these days, with 5 subs. Is your player going to get to 59 minutes? If he does, he's got a point. If he goes over 59 minutes, he gets 2 points. If he gets an assist, 3. A hat trick, you get 5. You don't get a point for scoring. What? Have they missed? You don't get any points for your player scoring 1 goal, or did they miss it? What? So what's the point then? What is the point? So you're picking players who assist. That's why they had the thing where it was only 1 player up front. Because otherwise, players would just pick the players that score all the goals. Missed penalty -3. A yellow card -1. Red card -3. That's bizarre that you don't get points for just 1 goal or 2 goals. Your player has to score a hat trick to get any points. So you're basically trying to pick. Is it worth having 2 strikers then? You might as well just have 1 and try and get midfielders who get assists. That's kind of weird and annoying. And you would imagine that a midfielder is less likely to be taken off, so they'll get more points for appearances. For the goalkeeper, every 3 saves. So if they make 3 saves in a game, they get 2. If they make 6, they get another 2. If they get 9, they get another 2. So you want a very busy but competent goalkeeper, I would imagine. Penalty saved is +3. Goalkeepers and defenders, a clean sheet but they must have played for 60 minutes plus. They get 5 points. If they score a goal, here we go. So if a defender or a goalkeeper scores a goal, they get +7. Every 2 goals conceded, -1. Well, I would imagine you'd have to pick Mill's goalkeeper based on that, because I don't think we're going to concede that many. Defenders, every 3 clearances, every 2 blocks, every 2 successful tackles. +1, +1, +1. Midfielders, every interception +2, every goal scored +6. Okay. They've listed it elsewhere. Okay, because it's a different points for depending where you are, and they'll give you different for a goal scored. So a defender gets 7 if they score a goal, midfielder gets 6, and a forward gets 5. Okay, I understand. So that's why they didn't list it up above. Okay. Midfielders and forwards, every 2 key passes, +1. Every 2 shots on target, +1. Oh, okay. It's getting a bit complex now. You're going to have to be, like I said, a bit of a savant to get a decent score on this. A goal scored, excluding own goal, +5 for a forward. Okay. Clubs will score points based on the following metrics. So remember, you pick 7 players, you have to pick 2 clubs as well. A win is +1, a draw is +3, an away win is +2. So is that an extra? I would imagine it's an extra +2. So it's +5 and +2. A clean sheet is +2, and if you score 2 or more goals, that's +2. Nice, okay. Leaderboards, mini leagues, game weeks. Doesn't sound that bad. I'll give it a go, but we'll see how we get on. Seems a bit complex, but like all of these, I just stopped doing these because what would happen is I would be ever so keen at the start of the season. I would select my team, and then about 2 months in, just forget about it and not go back. So, but I'll give this one a go. Why not? And that is it. Before we go, just a reminder that you can listen to this on Spotify and watch it. And Spotify have just brought in a comment section as well, which I'm not sure all channels are doing it, but they've improved their offering of later for Spotify. And someone in the comments asked if this could be put out as a podcast, and I've obliged, because one thing about YouTube, you can't turn the screen off and still listen to it. On Spotify you can. On Spotify, even though it's uploaded as a video, you can turn the screen off, push the button to turn the screen off if you're on a phone, and it will carry on playing in the background, the sound. So that seems good if you're driving or whatnot and you don't want to get in trouble with any bicyclists driving by seeing you looking at your phone. So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.